We're ready to rock.
Here we are.
Cool. Well, we are 2 minutes late. Oh no. Welcome back, everybody. Beautiful Tuesday evening with drinks and toys. I am here joined by
We
Mr.
lost
Weezy.
all our
Weezy, how you doing
fans.
tonight? How you doing
I'm
tonight?
well, man. How about yourself?
And Psycho, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Doing good. How about you?
Okay.
Good. Getting ready to fly out tomorrow. As folks may see, Johnny is not on tonight. Hopefully he's all good. Won't get into anything more than that, but hopefully we'll see him on the next one and everything will be good with him. A little more chill tonight, a little more impromptu, a little more just talking about whatever. I know Chris had a really good topic he brought up in the chat last week. I totally forgot about it, and which says it's not surprising. I could have come up with it and forgot about it, but it'll be a good topic of conversation. And then two other things. We were talking about the license for turtles. I know we talked about it once before, but I feel like more and more people are, like we were saying, speculating, right? Call it guessing, right? What's going to happen, and then what some people are mentioning. So don't really know what's going on with that. And then some of the toys, I was on Toy Arc and just looking at some of the hard toys coming out this year for 26, and I'm not impressed. I don't know what they're going for, but it looks like something that's going to be shelf warming. But again, we'll get to all of that. So, what up, Joe? Joe Hio, Joe Mama. That's very 1990. But I'd like to say thank you to Smirnoff. You have yet to sponsor us, but I'd just like to say thank you, and my children enjoy it. So, all right.
Well, now.
It's probably fine. You're shaking their heads.
Yeah. Whatever.
I don't think it's fine.
Yeah, who needs that? So,
no, sir. I don't like it.
so good. Where are we going? What are we starting with?
I'm saying like start at the bottom, man. Start with the easy stuff because I think your third party thing or your thing's going to take a little while, go a little further, which is cool. Let that be meat and potatoes. So,
I mean,
what's up?
No, I'm just gonna say we're starting at the bottom with easy stuff. I mentioned it on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, but I actually got that analog 3D system in. It's incredibly badass. It looks so much like an N64. It's just a little bit smaller, but it's great.
Yeah, you posted that up. You posted that in the group chat. So you're putting your cartridges in it, and it plays great, and it looks great on a newer TV.
Yep.
That's so weird to think that the game will keep up like that. Like the game itself, not the system.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, like all cartridge-based games, eventually my cartridges are going to start having the issues where the battery is going to need to be replaced, which then I'll have to open them up and try to take care of that. But I don't know. As a game collector, I prefer physical games, and so the fact that I can continue playing it on my newer TVs without having to have an old TV was appealing to me. And the fact that I could get it to look like my Legend of Zelda N64 was pretty great as well. Yeah. But it is significantly smaller.
Like physically or like the way it looks on the screen?
No, physically the console.
Oh.
So, yeah, like the console itself
I thought he was
is physically, it's smaller. See? But I mean, you can see it's also much thinner.
Yeah, it's
they
not
gave it the overall
like
shape of the N64. Yeah, it's not exactly the classic size, right? So when Nintendo released the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, it was just micro. But this is not full N64 size, but it's definitely cool. So
yeah, I wouldn't mind some of the other systems they advertised on there. It's just like the price point was insane. I mean, I get it. If you're a game collector and that's your thing, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. And the price makes sense to you. But for me, it's not something I buy. So I couldn't ever justify that price point.
No, and I've had this conversation with Victor and Jose, and I don't think either of them are watching tonight, or maybe they are, but they don't really collect games anymore. My cousin who used to collect games, she doesn't collect games anymore either. And so it's mostly just because I keep all my physical games, I don't want to get rid of them. For me, like you said, the price point makes sense. I'm going to get use out of it. It's something that I'm going to be able to use and experience. Whereas, let's say you like playing the old games, but you want to play one game. You're not going to go out and spend $300 on a console just to play that one game. Like, it wouldn't make sense at that point. Download it somewhere, find an emulator, do something so that you can do what you want to do.
I mean, I ended up with, when I bought the Cowabunga collection, that's it. My life was good. I got all the Turtles games I wanted to play. I could play, all the OGs over and over and over again, and it's great. And I get to manipulate them. Like I told you guys.
Online.
Huh?
And you can play them online.
Well, I like it because I speed run the arcade game, Turtles the arcade game. So I will turn around and make it nightmare mode. And it's just an ungodly amount of mob on the screen. So it's just so much fun. I don't know. It's a good time. But just walked in, what's smaller? Wiener?
The analog 3D is smaller than the N64.
Everything.
I don't know.
So-
I don't care.
I just wanted to show these off because I just came upon them. So we're in the age of AI, right? Where you have some people who use AI and programs to help make, like, for example, like a lot of the thumbnails and stuff I do for collectors, I use like an AI to help, like, the branding, to make sure everything kind of looks the same with my mascot and everything. But you also have people who are just like using AI to make stuff and try and pass it off as like real, which can become problematic, right? But these, I don't think people are trying to pass these off as real. I think they just think it's cool. I want to show you guys these. It's an AI, looks like a wave of G.I. Joe figures coming out. I just feel like there would be some I feel people might enjoy some of these. Let me bring this up real quick.
Oh, it's part of our screen and not on the actuals. There it is.
So
Is that
I mean,
one
obviously-
dude?
It's the guy from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh my god, that's awesome. That's
fucking
pretty
Tom
funny.
Hanks from Saving Private Ryan, it looks like.
Yep.
These are all AI.
Yeah,
David Wayne from
Major
Major
Payne. Fucking Lieutenant
Jeez.
Dan. Then you got Gump, obviously. You can't have Dan without Gump.
Tom
Tom
Cruise from Born on the 4th of July.
Then you got him also from Maverick,
Top Gun. Yeah.
or as Maverick.
Wow.
Fucking Bill Murray.
It's Bill Murray.
Oh, fucking Robin Williams.
Good morning, Vietnam. Yeah.
That's such a good movie.
Rambo.
Rambo's pretty great.
And then it starts over. I just thought it was interesting. Obviously, it's AI, but now I kind of want all those to actually be a thing. Especially
That's
Major
pretty funny.
Payne.
Is it bad? I can tell you which ones I think would just sit on the shelf.
Why don't you tell us, Tony? Which ones do you think?
Well, I think Forrest Gump would just be on the shelf. I think there'd be too many of him and nobody would take him.
Fair.
I think
I'd buy Forrest Gump.
I'm just saying, I think the Bill Murray one would just sit on the shelf. I think people would get it, but when the next wave came out and they were still, there, the next run, I think it would sit on the shelf. It'd go clearancey. But
All right, Joe, you make one of the Shellhead crew.
oh, that's
Do
awesome.
But yeah, like I said, I just thought that was interesting. Especially, I think of all those there, though, the main one I would want would be like Major Payne. Because that movie is fucking hilarious.
That would be good. It'd be good shit. So speaking of unwanted toys, wow.
Wasn't it confirmed that it wasn't? It was hepatitis.
It was not HIV. She was not HIV positive, according to the writer of the novel and then the director of the movie.
Yeah, she would come with the pre one would come with a couple lines of Coke, and the post one would come with a kid. So there you
The
go.
pre would also come with a bunch of dongs.
There you go. Jenny and the Black Panthers. I'm pretty sure it's a band. So anyway, so toys coming out, man. So I was on Toy Arc just to switch gears. And Trick or
You're gonna
Treat
bring a
Studio,
photo?
huh?
You're gonna share pictures?
Yeah, I'm getting there. So Trick or Treat Studios has their 2026 line of horror characters coming out. And you know, we talked about this before, you know, what constitutes horror, what doesn't. And they're only doing one thing that I'm like, I don't even say impressed. I just think it's kind of cool. And that is their little Polly Pocket Halloween set.
That's dope.
It's
cool.
It's Micromaniacs Halloween. And I hope that they continue that line, because even if I don't like the movies, I will for sure buy whatever ones they decide to make.
So
I think that's a cool idea.
When they first announced the everybody says the Polly Pocket. I'm a man, so it's Mighty Max. All right, let's get this shit right. But when they first announced those, and they showed all they showed was like the shot of the open set with the house and the car and everything. I was like, these would be amazing. And I was trying to figure out what they could do for the other horror movies, right? So like, obviously the Halloween is the pumpkin, which it all is part of, you know, the movies, the pumpkin logo, everything, the pumpkin, cool. But then it's like, where do you go from there? Like for Jason, the mask, right? You just do the Jason mask, opens up to Camp Crystal Lake, cabin, whatever. But like, what do you do for Freddy? Just the fedora? Like, do they gonna do his face? Would they just do like somehow the hand or something that opens up? Like, when you start getting this other movies, it starts becoming a little harder to like figure out what they would do. The base, the pocket.
It would probably be his hand on something, and the hand would open up. I think
Possibly.
Leatherface, they would do like the chainsaw, or again do his face and the face opens up.
Yeah, would they go the easy way, just do faces, or would they try and do something? Because like technically the pumpkin isn't a face, right? It's like it's a pumpkin. It's a jack-o'-lantern. Like Jason,
Yeah.
at least you have like the iconic mask. You can get away the same thing with like Leatherface with the iconic mask, but Freddy,
I mean, I think it's great. Can you guys see it?
yeah, no. I'll definitely be trying to get that, depending on price.
I don't think it's going to be more than $20 thing at the most. It should be a 15 or less, but it's going to be probably $20.
I'm
And
betting 35 and above.
oh God, you think?
Yeah.
I mean, they did a Stranger Things one not too long ago, and it was $20.
Was it through Trick or Treat Studios though?
It wasn't.
Yeah. So,
but they just, like I said, they just did a Stranger Things one that had a lot of figures
gave her a
that
rack.
came with it. You could turn stuff around, and
yeah, be careful. There's
Just
oil
saying.
in them things. We'll be taking them over. No, once he goes through the pictures, I'll
And they got the
give
family
re-
truckster.
I'll give a reason why I think it's gonna be over 20 as we go through the rest of the photos.
Okay. But just and we'll come back to that. I think it's really cool, and I'm excited for that for sure. But I guess
It's
I
the
don't
Vista
understand, like, and let me know if the screen's like pushing off. But I get it. There's a following for every like Toonie Terrors, and you know NECA makes it. Fucking Toonie Terrors makes it. Or Toonie Terrors NECA. NECA makes it. Trick or Treat Studios makes it. I'm sure IDW has their own. Like, I don't know. I think there's just too many people with their hands in that jar. And so we're getting too much of the same characters. Now, there's only so many horror characters, but we're getting so many mainstream characters. And it's just, I don't know. The figures aren't getting any better. I want more detail, and I want to see more, like,
So
I want to see more companies come out, like, and I can never remember their name, and I'm sorry, and I'm sure you guys remember it. We talked about this a while back. Who's the company that came out that's not Hot Toys, but they're producing Hot Toy quality, just not giving you as many accessories?
Oh, like the it's Hot Toys, but just their lower branch.
It's their entry level brand, call it.
Yeah, I don't remember the name, but
So I
There's
want to
still
see more
12-inch
companies.
figures.
I want to see more companies do that. Like, Hot Toys are great. After owning the two, I get it. I understand the rabbit hole, and I can definitely see how I would lose my life over it financially. I would love to see them do Turtles. I'd lose my goddamn mind, but which would be awesome for them to come out with that. But at the same time, even if their entry level brand, if they were making figures like these, but just entry level, I would feel like I'm spending money. Like the price point wouldn't be unreasonable, and I'd feel like I'm spending money and I'm getting something quality out of it. I'm getting like burnt out on the this shit. Look at the face on Ash.
Yeah, so these, if you look underneath, they're 5-inch figures, right?
Right,
They're
I
not-
understand.
Yeah, they're not even like neck and scale. Like they're made to, at least from what I can tell, and it looks like to me, they're made purposely to look like toys from the 90s, from that 5-inch turtle realm, like that size, that style of articulation. Because it's very limited articulation. It looks like there's no knee joints in those guys. They're all kind of posed. So I have a feeling that's what it is. That they're purposely made to be that vintage style from the 90s.
I don't understand and somebody will have to help me out. I don't understand the appeal. I don't understand, where they think this is going to be not even a big seller, but just be a good seller overall.
Did you not like Army of Darkness as a movie?
Huh?
Did you not like Army of Darkness as a movie?
No, I love the movie, man. I think it's great, but how many times do I need to buy Ash in the same damn outfit and pose?
Oh, this right here. So I would not buy these, right? Because just they're not the scale I collect, right? That's just not my collection. If they made this line in 7-inch NECA scale, I'd be all over this. I'd probably skip Ash because I have Ash a couple times. But the rest of them, Evil Ash, the fucking I forgot the names of the big titty fucking flying one. Like, I would buy those in a heartbeat because we've never gotten those in that way that I can think of off the top of my head. Like, those would all be new. The fact that they're like a 5-inch vintage style, that's lost my interest in.
I guess I just don't get what the need was to make this. Like, I mean, and there's more, right? They're always going to make something. Doesn't mean it's going to appeal to everybody, but. And I love horror, but I don't see the need for this set. I see it's like, unless this is some really badass box set, if you're an out-of-box collector, I don't see the appeal to this.
See, this one, I don't agree with you on this one, but as you scroll through, there's ones I understand what you're saying, and I agree with that about those. That would be one of them.
Like, he looks cool, but I don't care.
I don't care. No. But like, I understand that there's people who like that vintage style, and they'd be all over this, right? I get it. That's just not me. And I'm a huge horror fan. I have tons of horror figures, but they just don't fit anything I currently buy. Like, it's just not. But there is a set of 5 inches that you're going to show that I am tempted to buy.
This looks like somebody like brought you back a bootleg Rambo from Mexico.
Yeah. And I think that's to do soft likenesses so they don't have to pay actors' rights, to be honest.
I thought this was a woman at first.
It could be in your own headcanon. Why not?
Yeah.
That's tempting.
The toilet more than anything is what I would want.
Those are tempting. And I think I'm more okay with them because they're supposed to look cartoony. Because they're the clowns, right? Like, them being that small, like, it doesn't take away anything from what they were versus Day of the Dead or the Army of Darkness. They're all based on live action, real people. Like, it looks bad, but these, like, all right, they're small, they're just cartoon versions. Like, it doesn't, the appeal and the look of them isn't affected by the size, if that makes sense.
Like, Killer Clowns could all day have been a kid's animated cartoon. It could have been right there with Toxic Avenger. It wasn't so over the top gory or anything like that it could not have been a children's cartoon in the 90s for sure.
But those I would be tempted in getting. I probably won't because I just don't have space for a whole new collection, but I'd be tempted. I wish they were 7-inch scale. I looked like the actors.
I'm so like happy somebody tried. But at the same time, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So instead of making his son, they make 2 versions of the principal.
Yeah.
And then the dog, I forgot it was his dog.
Yeah.
She looks nothing like Anna Paquin.
It's a 5-inch toy, and like I said, I think they do that on purpose. First of all, I don't think they have the ability for the sculpting of that level. But also, I really think it might be just to get a soft likeness to avoid copyrights.
And why is Sam
Got a camel toe?
camel shit, man?
You don't remember that moment?
That's like fucking 5 elephants and so I don't know what the hell that is, dude. It's like
This is one that like I said, I wish NECA had taken the balls to jump in and do this line. Because if NECA had done them, I'd be on them all day.
I mean, even this is just terrible.
Yeah.
But it looks like the sheriff of Rottingham and He-Man's head.
Is that Chuck Norris?
Wow.
I feel like that's Chuck Norris.
Who
It
the
partly
hell was
knows
like?
it's not, but I feel like it is.
I just want to know when they
Honestly,
made the
I don't
figure
know
who
if
was
that's
like
supposed to-
let that one fly. That's the one.
I can't even picture what this is from, to be honest.
Oh, it said
yeah, me either.
something Force, Delta Force.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so it is Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Okay, so good on me. All right. Calm down, Chucky.
It's so bad.
The fuck? I mean, if I was gonna buy a Chuck Norris toy, I feel like I just buy like a Walker Texas Ranger. That's all I need. This, I mean, I don't know who
Boddicker.
needs a Red Foreman, but if you need a Red Foreman, there's your Red Foreman.
So I will give you this. When I saw these, I was like, okay, somebody put a little more effort into this one. Just a little bit. I mean, it
think
kind of
it's-
looks like the Riddler, but
To
they
be
put a
honest,
little
I
more
think it's
effort.
because he's got glasses on. And I think if you took the glasses off, you'd be just as mad.
I think you're right.
I feel But some company is doing a lot of the bad guys from RoboCop in 7-inch scale. It's obviously, I don't think it's Trick or Treat Studios doing them, but somebody else is. See, like the RoboCop doesn't look bad because you're not worried about a likeness.
Look
You
at his
don't have
bottom
any-
lip. It looks like a caricature. You guys can't see it, but it's like
I can see a little bit. I'm saying, but like at least like in the face, the eyes, you don't have that
RoboCop.
potato look because he's got the visor. You know what I mean? Like you
it's
can
like he's
get
got no
away with
teeth
it.
though. He's like RoboCop.
Like I said, you can get away with it, but if you're gonna spend the money on that, like you might as well just buy a NECA one.
Robo creep. Look at that pose.
Because I think
This is this is me looking surprised. This is me looking thoughtful.
and it's very
This is me
and they're
saying,
very
"Hey,
very limited articulation.
this is me being daring. This is me being brash."
It's so
God
weird.
damn it. Oh, man.
I'm behind the tree. I bet
It's
she's
a
carrying
bush.
3 pumpkins.
Uh,
Oh, that was funny. Good times. Good job.
I don't care if he shoots him; he's not gonna die. That's a pretty good leprechaun. But these are Toonie Terrors now.
No, those are 7-inch scale. So hopefully he's not 7 inches because that wouldn't make sense.
Well, he might be. He's still got pants on.
But this is part of their Scream, whatever the hell it's the line. You know those the killer clowns that I showed off a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
They're fucking like this
yeah.
big. They're the same line that he's in. So that's gonna be a 7-inch scale line. 8-inch scale. Like they're massive.
8-inch leprechaun. Damn.
But like that's one of those things that I've been waiting for NECA to do a leprechaun. I want a good ass leprechaun figure. And this isn't bad, but it's barely any articulation. It could be better. Maniac Cop, I almost feels a must buy. So
It looks good. I'm just not a big enough fan to purchase it. I won't anyway. Honestly, if I think I've got it in my head. If I'm gonna start buying, you know, more horror, I'd probably just go see what Hot Toys has for horror.
yeah, but yes, I can't. The 12-inch figures, I'm good on
Because
that.
I'm sure there's one or two leather faces at least for Hot Toys.
Because I'll give them this. Trick or Treat Studios, they're at least doing some of the franchises that are very niche, right? Whereas NECA is like, oh, that's too niche. We can't do that. We won't be able to sell it. Whatever. It's just not enough attention. Trick or Treat Studios is like, here, hold my beer, Maniac Cop. And that's what I feel like. That's going to be the only way to ever get a figure of him is going to be through Trick or Treat Studios. And there's a variant head. God damn it.
That's pretty good. Can you guys see that pretty clear?
Yeah. Like I said, these are the bigger ones. These are like 7.5-inch figures, roughly.
You would think for a copy
So-
to have a dental plan.
Hot Toys doesn't make horror figures like Leatherface, but they partner with Sideshow Collectibles, who releases 1/6 scale figures that Hot Toys helps work on, but they're not branded Hot Toys because they're not entirely up to the Hot Toys level. And in that line, they did a Leatherface.
So my thing with this one is when you have companies like Mezco and NECA both attacking Terrifier and making fully posable, fully articulated figures, why would you even attempt unless you're specifically aiming for the audience who only likes the very limited articulation style? Like, if you're not going to do a figure of it that's going to knock it out and go against the competition and actually put up a chance or a battle against them, what's the point of even doing that?
I guess for me, that's like I'm one of the few people that enjoys, and they stopped up to a certain point was when Reaction originally came out with the turtle figures, and
Right.
I have them all up to whatever's current. Right, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen them make turtle reaction figures in a long time, not even variants.
No.
But when they started taking and the GI Joes, I collect Python Patrol and Tiger Force. That's all I'll collect for GI Joe. And they started making the figures. They're not the Reaction 3 3/4 anymore. Now they're Reaction 3 3/4 with articulation. Well, that's not that's
the super.
yeah, that's not what I bought the originals for. I like that they don't do anything but have an arm, have a leg, and hold a weapon.
Wait,
That's what I
they were
thought was
that
cool
very
about it.
vintage style, 4 or 5 points of articulation, 3 3/4-inch figure. Yeah.
I thought it was cool, and now it's nothing more than anything else I can buy on the shelf, in my opinion.
Because now I
You
think
know.
what they're doing is that they're trying to make them more of the newer GI Joe 3 3/4-inch, give them all the articulation that the Joes I think in the early 2000s wound up getting
Mhm.
versus what they had originally in the 80s.
Yeah, the 1999 GI Joe line up to like 2002 or 3 is just trash.
Yeah.
They're trash figures, but yeah, I feel like that's what they're going back to, but that's a whole other argument. So yeah, there's art.
Yeah, but the same thing. He's 6, 7 inches, maybe 8. Same thing with fucking Crow. Horrible looking face. I don't know. Still not a fan of their face sculpts on these people. Oh, at least he's stripped down. That's good. In his long johns.
This was such a disappointment.
Never saw it.
Fucking Joker meets the Crow. It was such a shit movie.
Never saw it. Don't plan on ever seeing it.
Oh my god. If you guys want to talk about a shit movie one day, that's one we'll watch.
No, I'm good.
I mean, if I had to watch it,
Not
you
at
should
all.
watch it, but
Nope, that's not how we play this game.
it looks like Evil Ernie and the Joker had a son.
That's a fair assessment. So I think that's from was it The Gate, I believe?
Yeah.
Which that's a, like a classic horror movie. and where I'm like, oh, I'd like figures, but again, I want like something a little more articulated than that. So
Yeah. So
no, so real quick, back. I want to touch back on the whole, the Mighty Max, um, yeah, the Mighty Max set. So the reason I'm thinking that's going to be more than $20, I could be wrong. The only reason I'm saying that is because like those 5-inch figures are roughly $20. Their 7-inch figures are usually $35 to $40. Trick or Treat Studios has a tendency to have higher prices. I think because they have much smaller runs, at least versus other big companies. But their figure lines are pretty highly priced and comparable to like NECA and what's going on in the toy aisle. So I have a feeling I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to get a solid $30 to $35 out of that thing. It would not surprise me at all.
I wouldn't buy it then. You'd lose me right away.
That's
1-to-1 scale. I mean, wouldn't you have to be like 2 feet tall or something? Weren't they, or like a foot tall?
Yeah, that thing's like 7 inches. I mean, maybe that's how Joe measures. Maybe that's 2 feet to him.
Depends where you measure from. You can't tell where.
Well, you got
Listen,
to measure.
I watch South Park.
Yeah,
so.
there's a whole formula for that.
Yeah, it's divided by the shit. Probably shouldn't bring that one up. Poor Psycho. So
he doesn't know what the fuck's going on anymore.
So
I know what's going on. I just don't know how to respond.
That's okay. That's how most people are in my life. So definitely bring up and just we don't have to spend all year on it because I think your thing, Weeze, is going to take a minute. But there's still that elephant in the room, man, which is who the hell is going to get the turtles. And you posted in the chat the other day, or you commented on the Reluctant Adult. They had and I really hope we get them on because I think it'd be a great conversation. But they had posted the main guy, Paul, or main guy Adam? Paul. So, he's talking, he goes, they post, they're like, there's speculation who's going to take it over, and it rhymes with Gazelle. So, obviously Mattel, right? It's the only one it could be. So I'm like, all right, Mattel, I guess, I don't know. But then again, everything's speculation. You don't know if it's bandwagon or what, because I'm reading more times than not on Google and on Facebook and all these stupid forums, and everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Hasbro. It's most likely going to be Hasbro. And again, I don't know if that's just because Hasbro's so monopolied, right? They have so many like things that they, I guess, will try to get their hands into that they do make. I don't know. And then they have G.I. Joe. So then there's the crossover thing like Psycho was bringing up. And I mean, all signs point to, yeah, that would make sense. What is Mattel? I can't even think of what Mattel is putting out right now. Like, are they producing the X-Men toys still? Like,
no, that's all Hasbro.
Yeah, so who the hell's what is Mattel even putting out?
Mattel does He-Man. They do WWE. Yep. They do Barbie.
I'm sorry, not to be like sexist, but the boys lines. What are they putting out?
Hot Wheels.
Okay.
So, WWE.
Street
Sharks. He-Man.
Okay, so Street Sharks and He-Man are two reasons where I could see the Turtles falling into their line. Like, who put out the reprint of the Toxic Avenger toys? Was that Playmates? I don't remember.
Trick or Treat Studios.
I didn't even know they put out a reprint.
Trick or Treat Studios did a Toxic Avenger toys.
The ones that are in like the regular packaging, like you bought it as a kid almost.
Yep.
The bubble pack.
Trick or Treat Studios, because you had Super 7 doing their versions, and then you had, I think it was Trick or Treat Studios that popped up with, and they released figures that were never even released. I believe that was their whole goal, was the unreleased characters that like they were designed but never, the line got canceled. They were trying to release those too.
Mattel also has. Mattel also has Jurassic Park, Monster High, Little People Collector, NFL, and Lord of the Rings.
So
All right, so if Mattel does Turtles, right? Hasbro has obviously the approval to license Turtles with G.I. Joe, right? Because they would have to have that.
well,
So then if Mattel owns the main license or whatever, if Mattel buys the main license and Mattel's like, we're gonna go back, we're gonna keep producing toys for Playmates or whatever. And I wonder if they buy the master licensing or whatever, are all of the materials that Playmates had, will that go with the license? Or is that Playmates and they can destroy it, they can keep it, they can do whatever, and it's on Mattel's own to come up with their own figure molds and figure creations?
I would imagine that Playmates would not give their shit away, right? Because they have to destroy everything, all the product, all that within like 60 or 90 days or whatever it is of completing the year. But
would they have to
You
do that if like, let's say Hasbro gets a license and Hasbro allows them to make toys? Would they still have to destroy all their stuff?
One thing about that, I know I was the one who made that like, oh, it'd be interesting if Hasbro got the license and then they just had Mattel do it, right? The only problem with that and the reality of it, when you actually put it into context of it, Hasbro is letting Playmates do Power Ranger toys, right?
Yep.
But that's because Hasbro owns Power Rangers.
Yes.
So it's not like they have the master toy license for Power. They own Power Rangers. So it's one of their licenses that they're letting people have. So like for them to allow Playmates to do it, you would think that they would have to own the Turtle license, and Nick isn't giving up the Turtle license. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
I mean, what
they're not
about
gonna?
like,
It's not gonna be the same type of like, oh, we're gonna get the license here, but then we're gonna have them do it, like, because they're not owning Turtles. They're gonna be having the master toy license. Like, I don't think they would sub out the master toy license to them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a different situation.
couldn't Playmates still? What I'm saying is, couldn't Playmates still make turtle toys without being the master license? Like NECA can make toys. Super 7 can make toys, right? Like, couldn't Playmates just apply for a normal license, not the master license, and then not
They
have
to pay for rights?
get rid of their shit? You know what
They
I mean?
absolutely could, but
then why give up the license now?
Because what Johnny was saying last week is a regular license is probably significantly less expensive than the master license. The master license entitles you to do lots of different things, whereas Mattel or Playmates could just say, listen, I want a regular license because I just want to re-release the original figures that have already been designed, that have already been approved. They're like, all I'm going to do now is re-release those figures. I'm not going to make anything new. And so Johnny was saying last week, I believe it was Johnny was saying last week, that if all they wanted to do was re-release their old stuff, because that's what seems to be selling, they could focus on that, and then they wouldn't have to make anything for a new movie or a new show or anything else.
I think we were on a different podcast because I don't remember that being said at all.
I remember when we talked last week, people were talking about that. I don't know if it was Johnny or what, but I thought somebody was talking about how the master license means you do a bunch of stuff, and then the regular license just means you're doing specific things.
Well, no. So I mean, the definition of what the master license is and what it allows you to do, I don't think it just means you get to do a lot of stuff. I think what it is that it gives you the power. And a perfect example is when NECA first started making Turtles, where Playmates is like, you can't have those in stores against us because we have the master license. It's not allowed, right? We own that. We have say into what can be done with it, versus where NECA might not have a say at all as to who could put up Turtle stuff next. And like, oh, you guys can't put loyal subjects here. We're here. Like, I think that's what the master license more entails. It's not like, oh, you have the master license, so you can make toys and pinball machines and board games and like that. I don't think that's what the master license covers. I think all of that has to still get approved. It's just they have more say as to what can be done with the license because they have the master license.
So, like you guys all know, when Playmates started re-releasing the Turtle figures, we were all excited because the card stock looked cool. It looked like our vintage card stock. other than the little loop in the top. No,
Right.
Everything else told you that was a vintage cardstock toy, and it was cool. And that was, I think, what everybody like. That was where the hype nostalgia took off.
Yep.
And everybody was running out to stores. And I've said this before. I was one of them. I was sitting there 11 o'clock at night at the Walmart waiting for them to put the box out so I could grab the box of Donatello's, because that's what we were doing. We were hunting, and everybody, that's what we were looking for.
Yep.
And Playmates, other than the figure packaging, and I said this before, 100% let me down with the quality.
They shit the bed. Absolutely.
Yeah, the figures themselves were fine, but the weapons, they spent no money on the weapons, so everything is flimsy and shitty. And then the vehicles, they were fine except for the accessories that go on the vehicle. They're
also the vehicles had no real playability, man. Like you couldn't. Again, I didn't open any of the other vehicles, but I opened the turtle van. And the fact that the lid wouldn't keep the door from popping open because all the plastic was shitty and the lid wasn't heavy enough to hold down into the slot, right? Like it wasn't holding properly. Things kept popping out. I mean, I don't think anything in the re-releases was good.
Well, I don't agree, but that's also because you haven't opened a lot of this stuff. Like the mutant module seemed pretty damn good. I mean, I don't have an original one to compare it to, but I didn't really have an issue. You can see the differences when you watch the reviews and stuff. Same thing with the Foot Cruiser. To me, seems pretty damn good.
So I heard the Foot Cruiser wasn't really a problem.
Yeah,
but I did open the van, which sucked. I opened the blimp, which sucked. Right.
I agree.
I've heard the recent things though, because like you're saying, the mutant module, the Foot Cruiser, I heard that the sewer layer was good, and I heard the Technodrome was good, except it was small. Like if they hadn't shrunk it, it wasn't flimsy feeling. It just was small.
Yeah, so you're basing a valid opinion on old information, right?
Well, I was going by what Tony said when they first started re-releasing the stuff. The quality sucked.
The figures Damien had. Excuse me. I was buying doubles and triples of all these figures when they came out. So yeah, I didn't say I was smart. So Damien, he had a Turtle Christmas that year, and he opened them all. He opened all of the vintage Turtle figures. He had a blimp. He had a wagon. He had a lot of the turtles, and so I'm on the floor playing with him, and I'm like, God, the quality is terrible, because Slash is my guy. Slash is my all-time favorite. Just is what it is. He's my favorite turtle character, and I played with Slash a million times as a kid, so I remember his quality. I remember his toys. Yeah, they were rubber, but they weren't like, you couldn't do this with the shit. And that's the way the toys were. I'm holding Damien's, and I'm like, God, this guy's got no weight to him. The rubber on the actual weapons is really flimsy. They don't want to sit in their hands. Like, it was just, all they did was remold and go. They didn't make it with the same density, I think, as the original toys were. Maybe they scaled it back 0.00 whatever, but it's just enough that the toys didn't have the same quality feel in your hands. And so I think Playmates missed the buck. They definitely charge you for the figure. $10 was like, oh, $10 is a great deal. Well, it would have been a great deal if it was comparable to the original toy, but it really wasn't. So what they did was they took a $3.97 toy. I understand things get more expensive, but they took what was a $3.97 or $3.99 toy, and they said, okay, it's 2020. Let's go ahead and make these again. And now they're going to be $9.99, and people think they're getting a deal, where had the margin wouldn't have been lost had they made them with the same quality of the originals and still had them at $10. Those would be respected. But I think real collectors know that what they bought was trash.
So, like what I was saying was that Psycho's opinion, because he keeps saying that the turtle van he opened was shitty plastic, doors didn't stay open or didn't stay closed, this and that. What I'm saying is that, like, that opinion, which is a valid opinion because that's something that did happen, a lot of people did complain about that, is based on that re-release came out when? Was that the one that came out in 2012 when they first re-released that one?
No.
No, because you had a 25th anniversary wagon, which I have, and then you have but then you have another one, the 25th anniversary 25th anniversary wagon does not have the inferior rubber and quality issues that the newer one does.
Okay. So, Psycho, which one did you open?
I'm talking about the newer release,
The
somewhere
2020.
around like 2020, 2021, whatever
Yeah.
it was.
So even then, right? So I guess what I'm saying is that you're based on, like I said, which is a completely valid opinion because that's what people did have a lot of concerns with. That's based on something from 5 years ago, whereas the last episode of Drinks and Toys, I mentioned that I think one of the saddest parts about Playmates losing the license right now is because it seems like they've really figured it out and they're actually starting to do it right.
So how
Right.
do you explain that with Power Rangers?
This is about turtles. Fuck Power Rangers.
But I'm just saying it's the same quality control issues, Chris.
No, fuck the Rangers. What I'm saying is with turtles, right? Because I'm sorry, Tony. If I look behind you, I see 10 million turtles. If I look off to the side, you might have a couple Power Rangers. We're talking turtles.
Not in this
All
one.
right.
Do you
Shell
actually
has
have
Zord.
Power Rangers?
Yeah, just
He's
not
got
in this one.
Zords. But so no, what I'm saying is that when it came to like the mutant module, the foot cruiser, right? The sewer lair. I can't vouch for the current figures because I don't open any of the figures like the ones I've bought on the cool fucking packaging, the vintage ones. I haven't opened them, so I can't comment on those. But at least with the vehicles, it seems like they're actually starting to do it right. Like they're finally like, you know what, guys, we have to kind of try and make this as good as we can, as good as the original was. And now they've lost the license because I would be interested to see how much further they were going to go. Maybe they were going to finally give us the proper blimp with the right parts of the blimp. You know what I mean? Like, but now we'll never know. And that's because they lost it. I just think they were finally getting to where they should have been this entire time. I think they finally were getting to that position.
I don't
And now
think you're
they've lost
wrong. I don't think you're wrong. But I just think that have they learned? Obviously, they would have to because they didn't learn. People would just stop buying them, right? But
Yeah.
I would believe that yes, they've learned a little bit from the first couple runs they put out, but they're not going to redo the blimp. What they put out is what they put out. They're fine. They sold it. It's
Well,
done.
now,
whether it
yeah.
was, yeah, but even if they had some other license, whether it was accurate or not, they put it out. People bought it. They took it as the original blimp.
Oh,
There's
I
no
mean,
other original toys unless they start doing stupid stuff, which didn't make sense to me. They did Toilet Taxi. Well, why didn't we get the foot ski before we got the Toilet Taxi?
Well, because like people, that who the fuck knows? But people, there's already speculation going around from people in the know that they were already planning on re-releasing the Technodrome in the proper size, like redoing the Technodrome in the proper size. Like it seemed like they were from internet people in the know that they were actually trying to get these things and do it right because like they learned their lesson. Like, no, we need to do this properly.
I'm looking for my Technodrome and I'm like, oh, it's behind a box. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
it's the smaller one, so it's probably behind like a Lego box. Like it's fucking tiny. So
I don't know. It's behind boxes, but
like I'm saying, like that. But people, it was already being said that like people in the know were already discussing that it was going to be coming out again, but in the proper size, like the 1-to-1. So it's like if that's true, then it really seems like they were trying to fix it because maybe they finally did learn their lesson. But like I said, they lost the license, so we'll never fucking know. We'll never.
I'd be
But
surprised.
they also had 40 years to do it right. So I mean, to be fair, it is what it is. You guys had plenty of time and you shit the bed on multiple occasions.
I'd be surprised if they would have gone as far to re-release it. Now, if they did, you're talking about larger scale, right? So now they have to dial it in to make it larger scale. Well, excuse me, however they print them, whatever. So I guess not to spend all year on this at all, really quick. Do you think that would have made the one that came out in smaller scale more valuable later in life?
I don't think so.
It depend. In my opinion, it would depend on how many Technodromes we got between now and then.
So I'm going to go with, I'm 44. I'm about to be 45.
Damn, you're old.
God damn.
Thank you. I'm still beautiful. So, but as I was like, we talked about this before, right? And I have this feeling too, that when our generation dies out, like you guys are both what, 40, 41?
41.
Okay. So there's
Damn
maybe
world.
what?
I said damn world. I didn't want you to feel bad. So like when
Oh
you
no,
said
I don't give a shit. So I'm gonna say 5 years before you. So anybody who's like 36, right? I'm gonna
Okay.
say anybody 35 to 45 are the last generation of collectors, like true collectors. Maybe hold up, don't shake your head. So maybe every time you shake your head with your beard, I don't know, don't get me why. I feel like we're having an argument about maple syrup and you want to prove me wrong or something. That fucking
We can argue about
lumberjack
maple
beard.
syrup.
No, we're not gonna argue.
Hey, this
about
weekend I'm going up in the mountains. I'm digging for gold. So you want to come with me?
Like Yukon Cornelius over there. So
Glad you got the reference.
God damn it. So sorry. What was I talking about?
I don't know. It's just I can't like I'm sitting here while we're
Oh,
having this
the
conversation,
last of the collectors. So because we Psycho was
and, like,
saying
all I
it
see
depends-
is Psycho's like nose and eyes because he's sitting right behind his fucking name, like he's trying to
So-
hide.
Psycho was
Oh,
talking
I'm
about
sitting on the opposite side of my name, so I don't know what the hell. Like my name is to the left and my face is to the right. I don't know what the problem is.
Oh, on my screen it looks like you're trying to teabag your own name. So-
wow. So again, as Psycho said, like what comes out, between now and then, next coming years. But so I believe 35 is probably, and I know you're gonna say there's a couple trickle in before that, right? It's probably some 30-year-olds, 32, but they're minimal. But I'm saying the majority of collectors are from that 35 to 45 range, maybe touching on 50. Again, because you're starting to phase people out. So in another 10 years, hold up, another 10 years, that 50-year-old is 60. I'm 55. The 35-year-old's 45. You're not buying toys anymore, most likely. The last of the 45-year-olds might be, but
why would you? Why? First of all, why would you try and assume that I wouldn't be buying shit still?
Will you shut up and listen for a minute,
Have you
or at least
shit back
3 minutes? So my whole point to that is, so as those fade out, the values of toys will continue to go down because there's less people purchasing them. So as rare as the piece might be, there's nobody out there. Listen, I collect vintage Robotech. There's a very small niche for vintage Robotech. People like Robotech, but there's a very small niche. You don't collect it, Chris. Psycho, you don't collect it.
Well, no,
It's
it's
one of those
fucking
things that was out when I was a kid. Okay? And even when I was a kid, it was a little bit older of a toy. It actually wasn't that new. Everything was being imported from Japan. So collectors for that genre are few and far between. I've got some very expensive pieces, but there's very few people who will pay for that because that group is getting older and dying out. Turtles in another 10 years, even though they have new adaptations, right? And so on and so forth. My son didn't grow up with vintage Turtles. He just grew up with whatever I gave him to play with for toys, but he didn't watch the show. He didn't grow up with that. Go ahead.
No, I think that you're discounting the importance of the intellectual property, right? So, like, I look at this in two different ways.
It's a pretty good segue into my topic. So
I don't think that Turtles is going to go anywhere. And because I think that the Turtle IP is going to continue, I think that there will always be, at least to a certain extent, a viable market for representations of the Turtle IP, right? But I also think that you're not necessarily taking into consideration the impact that your collection is going to have on your kids, right? So, like,
Yeah, they're going to have to deal with this shit when I'm dead.
well, no. What I'm saying is, you said your kids didn't grow up playing with the vintage toys. You did. They played with whatever the hell you gave them. But there's going to be that connection between knowing this is something that my father had when he was a kid, right? This is something that my father played with. It will be a way for them to reconnect, at least in some aspect, to you when inevitably you are no longer there, right? So even if they inherit all that stuff that you have behind you, even if they get rid of all of that, at some point they're going to try to reclaim some of it because it will be something of you, right? Like, does that make sense? My daughter plays with the vintage Ninja Turtles and with the vintage Ghostbuster stuff because
Because you force her.
I play with it with her. And I told her I had these toys when I was a kid.
And you're not getting anything else.
I'm sorry?
Nothing. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, so I think psychologically there's going to be a component there that you're not necessarily considering, right? And I think it's going to be cyclical or generational or however you want to experience it. It's like bell bottoms went out of style, right? But then they come back into style because people have fond memories of pictures or family members or stories that people told, and that stuff comes back around. Does it make sense?
So, yes. So I'm on the fence of agreeing with both sides, right? So the IP will live on because they're not going to let it die. It'll continue living on because let's be honest, for kids, there's not much cool, especially younger kids when they try and first introduce them to like the idea of that. There's not much cooler than turtles who are ninjas that eat pizza. Like, let's be real. That's just a cool concept that they'll just keep making in different iterations because kids will still go to it, just like dinosaurs. Like kids will never get tired of dinosaurs. They're fucking dinosaurs. They won't get tired of Ninja Turtles because they're Ninja Turtles. But that being said, even though if the IP will continues on as I imagine it will, I don't see where the vintage line will be represented, right? The original cartoons might not be represented. Now, there will always be, like there was until recently when all the COVID collectors popped up, but there will always be those people who were like, oh, I don't know what this is, but I like this. And they'll do that research and they'll learn about the history of what they like. And then they'll find love in it. And then they'll still want to buy it, right? You'll have those people for sure. But in the mass scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things, the vintage turtles will die out. And because eventually the kids like Tony's son grew up with 2012. That'll be his vintage turtles when he turns 30, 40. You know, he's our age. Those will be his vintage. Like, oh, those were my dad's toys. He might have a memory of them, but it won't really be that representation. But it's only going to hold the nostalgia for him because his dad bought him the toys when he was a kid or whatever. But he won't have any other connection to those at all besides dad versus, oh, I just love that cartoon. It's a different type of nostalgia.
But don't discount the power of that type of nostalgia is what I'm saying.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I don't see enough people having that nostalgia for like the vintage to like just to continue like crazy like it is now. Like, but the
That's
prices
kind of my
of it will
point.
probably go up because people will start, wanting that shit because oh, my dad had it, and people start paying out the ass for it, and then scalper's gonna scalp. So they're gonna.
Swiper's gonna swipe.
I don't agree when Tony says like, "Oh, kids in the future won't be buying toys and collecting." Like, I don't agree with that because they will. Like, there's people my age who buy and collect records. I never had a fucking record player. I have no connection to records, but I have friends who are younger than me and my age who collect records.
Wait, you never had a record player?
No,
I think that's totally different.
God, really?
Yeah.
No, not you. I'm just surprised because I figured everybody our age had a record player at least once.
No, I had as a kid, I had it was a Ninja Turtles, like a little toy. It's probably like this big. You had like special fucking.
You had it?
I had one of those when I was a kid. Yeah.
Oh, that's badass. It has like the plastic fake records that went on it and would play.
Yeah, I had one of those, but like an actual record player. My
dad
dad actually may have had one. I wouldn't be surprised if he had one because he still had a fucking an 8-track player. So I imagine he had one there, but I never used the day. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't something that I grew up with because when I was a kid, cassettes. We had the VHS. Like that shit wasn't a thing. Record player. I knew what it was. I had some. But there's people who didn't have it. They just buy records, right? And now records are back in stores like crazy. But like there's some that collect records. They want, the Who, the Beatles. They want those old records for shit that they never even did because a parent had it. But I just don't think it's gonna be enough to for a company to find substantial.
So the record thing is in my opinion, because I'm experiencing it now, my daughter's 15, right? So she'd be like, Dad, I want to go, we'll go to the flea market. She wants to buy records. and she's buying older bands and stuff, but I'm sorry, that's a pop culture like popularity thing. So things came out,
For some, sure.
movies and shows came out. I'm talking about kids. So movies and shows came out where they make things popular, like owning records and owning certain bands and so on and so forth. And so teenage kids, oh, that's cool. I want that. Even early 20-year-olds, and they're out there buying records. You do have some that truly have a fascination. Again, you're talking about a niche. You're talking about very few that have that, like, I like records. I have to own records. I think they're cool. I want vintage records. Gianna started buying CDs and DVDs.
Well,
Do you know how many DVDs I gave away? And now Gianna's back. We're going. Hold on, let's talk. We're going places, and Gianna is like burying herself in these rooms and finding every horror DVD she can get her hands on.
well,
Right?
because you
She's
raised
like
her
holding.
right.
I'm sorry.
That's because you raised her right.
Well, I'm just saying though, like
Always like
I'm just talking about the nostalgia of buying. Screw what the kid is into. The nostalgia of buying those movies. So she's like, this kid wants me to buy her a vintage TV because she wants to be able to play old vintage VHS horror movies. I would buy her all the vintage horror I could find, except I don't know if you guys know this. I didn't know this. In the last 5 years, vintage horror has gone through the roof on VHS. And it's the nostalgia of buying and owning that. It's the same thing with records. It's that hipster vintage, I'm edgy cool mentality of, if I own this, it must be cool. Now my daughter appreciates it all, but it's still that. She's still 15. It's still a trend. It's cool for her to buy it. Nobody is sitting around going, man, it'd be really fucking cool if I just went out and if I bought all these vintage turtles. That's just not the thing. So
Right,
records and toys, you can't equate.
Well,
Yeah.
I can, because the reason I can is because I specifically said personal friends and people right around my age. I'm not talking about teenagers at that point, right? I specifically said use the records as an example of an era who may have been born just outside of the popularity and the boom of records, who maybe their parents had them. That's when, and they still buy them and collect them. You know what I mean? I wasn't talking about a 15-year-old buying records. Like I said, what I was referring to is a completely different thing.
And I mean, I will say, like, when you talk about records, I kind of look at that as something different as well. But video games is one of those things that I'm curious about, because a lot of kids now, they don't want the games physically. And to be honest, the only time I buy a physical game anymore is if it's a Nintendo game. Like, I haven't bought a physical Xbox game since the Xbox One days. It's been at least
think about what you just said. Since back in the Xbox One days.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to remember, man, the Xbox One was 2012. We're 10 years past that, right? Like, it's been a very long time. I think the last physical Xbox game that I bought was Batman Arkham Knight.
When you said the Xbox One days, my mind was the original Xbox, like the first one.
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch, you didn't have a fucking Xbox. What are you talking about? Why were you buying the games, idiot?
But so, like, for me, I buy all my Nintendo games physically because that's just it's part of my collection. I want to have the physical representation for Nintendo, but everything else I buy digitally. And it's kind of like, what's going to happen to video games, because they take up a lot of space, especially the old cartridge-based games. They take up a lot of space, so people are getting rid of those. And you can access them easier online now. So, like, a lot of the Sega games you can access through Nintendo's, service, and all the Nintendo games you can access through Nintendo's service.
For me, that's like records. That's a different tangible. Look, toys are toys. I really think there's a separation there. So records and video games are just the dinosaurs of digital, call it, right? They're the dinosaurs of digital, because every bit of music I ever want to find, I can find on Spotify. And I am spoiled. I am one of those that I love records and I love the way they sound. And I do think records have a sound that will never be surpassed through digital audio. I do. It is what it is. Look, call it what it is. But I don't own 90% of what I'd love to own on record. I don't own it. I have some for nostalgia. Look, I got CCR. I'm a big punker and a big metal guy, but I've got CCR. I've got soundtracks that I'm glad I have because there's music on there I want to keep. I got Rhythm Nation from Janet Jackson, bro. Shit sounds great on fucking record. But there's video games that, to your point, Psycho, but I'm older. I would love to play. I'd love to have the nostalgia of busting out a Nintendo, throwing in my Turtles arcade game, and playing it on the screen, or playing Turtles 3: The Manhattan Project was the only game my brother and I would play together, and that's the best memory I do have, because my brother and I don't talk much anymore because he's a fucking idiot. But the one game we would play together, right? He was 4 years older than me. So you figure if I'm 12, he's 16. So we're sitting there playing Turtles, the Manhattan Project, and playing it on original Nintendo. And we used to say, hey, do you want to play a long game tonight? Because we knew we were going to be there for 3 hours playing this game from start to finish. And we would beat it from start to finish. And I own the cartridge. I own 2 of them. I own 2 of the arcade game, and I own 1 of the original Turtles game. And I would love to sit down with my brother at some point with an old Nintendo on a fucking TV screen and say, hey, man, let's play Turtles. But that's going to fade. That's a nostalgia for me as my age. My kids don't want to do that. They don't care.
Right. But that's because you're trying to push your not necessarily trying to push, but you're thinking about your nostalgia through the eyes of yourself, right? Your kids, when they get older, they're gonna have their own nostalgia for the things that they had growing up. Not necessarily the things that dad had and gave us or played with us, but their own things, right? Now, I don't know your kids well enough to know what they had, so I can't say them exactly.
Gianna's got it for My Little Pony and Monster High, OG dolls.
But so if you look at right now, right, the young generation, you got all these, what, say 7 to 12-year-olds running through toy aisles.
The 6 or 7-year-olds?
I specifically didn't say 7 for a reason. So when you go through and you look at the toy aisles, all those random ass toys that we don't get because it's nothing of a franchise that we know or give a shit about. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know the story behind that one, but sure, let's use that. Or you can even say Five Nights at Freddy's, right? You can say that one because that's really big amongst the younger generation. That's going to be like one of those ones that in 20 years, they'll have nostalgia for, right? The game, the movie, the toys. Like, it's going to be those things they have nostalgia for. So I think that you can't underestimate what that will do, because look what nostalgia's made us do as adults and collectors. Like, it'll still be there. It's just going to be different properties than what we have. It's going to be their new generation properties. You'll have some who are still like the Turtles because Turtles will still be going on. But like, it's going to be a lot of these other current properties that are going to be big. Just think, in about 20 years, there's going to be people with nostalgia for like SpongeBob. Because we're going to be hitting that age.
I don't disagree. Listen, I got nostalgia for SpongeBob now. I think he's fucking hilarious to be watching old episodes. But
terrible. Don't ever say that again.
Don't start with me, Hugo. So
I'm not starting with you. You're 45. You should never say anything positive about SpongeBob ever. Not one thing. Not a single positive word or syllable should escape your mouth about SpongeBob when you're 45. That show, first of all, that show single-handedly made every next generation dumber. Every generation that grew up with SpongeBob actually has lost IQ points because of that, right? Like, look at what it did to animation. Look at what we had and look at what we have now. Like, please, no, never. Don't retract your statement. This is your opportunity to retract your statement.
So
I retract my statement. They're good. I'm glad you said that. Fantastic. Let's move on before Tony says something else obnoxiously dumb.
Man, Psycho's really trying to shove stuff in your mouth. That's weird. That's a different podcast now.
You should wear a monocle.
God. God.
I'm just like, what does that say? Oh, shit.
SpongeBob.
But like, it's going to be the nostalgia. But like I say, it's not going to be our nostalgia on the kids. It's not. They're gonna have the nostalgia for their own items.
Oh, Psycho!
And
but
that's nostalgia, though, will most likely lead them to discovering some of the older stuff and finding love in that, right? So like my brother, he's younger than me, and he wasn't alive for like the Alien and Predator toys and all that. But I had him, and he still loves that stuff now. He has that because he had them around when I was a kid. He saw mine, but
I
he
didn't know
wasn't
you had a
around
brother.
like when they were brand new and shit. He just saw my old ones. You know what I mean? And he has them study. He's a huge fucking Alien fan. Like it's there. It's just it's going to be different things for your kids versus what you have.
So, out of curiosity, and this has nothing to do with anything that we're currently discussing. Well, I guess it's tangentially to do with it. But what do you guys plan to do with your collections at the end?
What the fuck?
Right? Like, have you ever thought about that?
What?
Because I mean,
Hold on a minute. What do you mean at the end?
you
It
know
means
what
when
I'm
you
talking
die.
about.
What are you going to do when you die?
Yeah.
We're getting dark. And then we'll hop on to the last topic.
Holy
once we get
shit.
past this dark fucking topic.
Listen, I just want to know when you're laying there and you're dying, what are you going to do with your collection?
So, all
Well,
right.
no, I mean,
No. Hold on.
not that I've thought about it in detail, but one thing that I have. So here's why I bring it up. Right. One of my professors at UF, the guy who started comic studies at college, he had collected he had a huge collection of old vintage comics based on the stuff that he studied, but he also was able to collect some of the old theatrical film reels of Disney cartoons and things of that nature. And when I had him as a professor, he was already getting older. And he told me that all this stuff, like there's so much of it, and some of it he was going to leave to his grandson, but the majority of it he planned to donate to the university, right? And so when he died, he donated that entire collection to the university, and they actually have a wing in one of their libraries that is all the things he donated. It's in glass case. It's got like he went through all this stuff, and I not often, but I've thought to myself, if my daughter has no interest in my video game collection, I might do something like that when it's my time, right? Like if she doesn't want that stuff, the collection that I have amassed and continue to amass might be worth hanging on for posterity, right? Like here is a Nintendo, here are all these games, here's like however you would do that, because those are things that you maybe don't want to disappear, if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying, but I think you're holding more value to your stuff because it's yours than what's really there, right?
Damn.
What?
Bryant, you got to stop with that shit. You get any deeper, you're going to need a drill.
So what I'm saying to that is that you're talking about his collection. He got a bunch of stuff that's really old and very rare, right? Whereas you're talking about stuff that you have that thousands of other people have, like, and easily tens of thousands, if not more, have as well. Like that's why there's such high selling things, because people buy them like crazy. So I feel like you could obviously donate all you want, but I just don't know anywhere to be like, oh, look at this very rare Nintendo that everybody still has in their closet. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's not
You're
everybody.
talking about technology versus toys, and you guys aren't separating that. And I really think should be separated.
But here you can't separate Nintendo stuff because Nintendo stuff was sold in the toy aisle, right? Like
But
when
that's
the
not
NES
okay.
was released, it
That's
was
not the
released
same.
as a toy. It wasn't released as a video game.
But you're talking about a physical play with toy, and I get it, right?
Mhm.
Or you play games, but technology is technology. You have people that collect all kinds of technology. You have people that collect cell phones. You have people to collect,
What does that do with
Walkmans.
that?
I mean, shit like what?
I'm trying to figure out what it has to do with anything I said, though.
Well, because we're talking about like collectors and what they're going to collect later in life. And Psycho brought up games again.
No, wait,
or whatever.
right.
And
Well,
Go ahead.
my point is just that I think he's putting more onto his value onto his stuff because it's his and he loves it. Where if he's like, he dies, he's like, oh, to a museum, here's all my Nintendo collection, right? Like you say, it's electronics, it's technology, right? So it could be different. But Psycho isn't the only person in the world to have all that stuff. Like there's just so much of that stuff out when it comes to Nintendo and newer, right? There's just so much of it. I don't think a museum is gonna be like, oh my god, we've never had this. We can't get like I feel like they'll be like, oh yeah, we've got 75 of these in the bunker downstairs because it's just such
Bunker.
a bunker, yeah. Because it's such a highly collected thing right now that they're fucking everywhere. If you go on eBay and type up NES and you can find hundreds of listings, I don't think a museum's gonna be like, oh my god, this is a rare thing to get. You know, that's all I'm saying. Like, I think whereas his teacher had some pieces of history that he might be the only one, or if not a very few amount of people actually have, that a museum's like, we can't get our hands on that. This is amazing stuff.
So let's go ahead, Psycho.
I was just gonna say, like, but how much of that changes by the time we're 80, 90 years old? You know what I mean? Because already they've estimated that like millions of games have been thrown away and destroyed that were released. Like some games are very hard to find because people got rid of them. They were thrown away. Parents didn't recycle them, didn't pass them on, didn't do all these things. So you add an additional 40 years.
Jesus,
what's it going to look like?
Right. No, you're like I said, what you're saying can be true, but I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I know your name's Psycho, but there are people and a lot of people who are much more insane and psychotic collectors than you are, right? Like there's just a lot of that out there. Even if a lot of people start to sell, you still have a ass ton out there. I just don't think that this stuff is gonna have the scarcity of like the stuff you said your teacher had. That's all. Like I just don't think it's gonna be that scarce.
To Brian's point, I have already had the same conversation with my wife. I told her that if something were to happen to me, all she's got to do, I was like, all you got to do is reach out to Chris, have him come in. I said, here are the things that he's going to want, and he'll tell you how to get rid of the rest of the stuff.
I'll just tell her to burn it.
No, you won't.
I mean, if I die, Tim's probably just going to come to my house. If we're being real.
So, just because before I want to get off this topic because like who wants to talk about death that much? But
why we're killing it.
A friend of mine.
He made a joke.
A friend of mine recently did pass away.
Oh, sucks. See, now you brought it down for real.
No. He was a good guy, and he'll be missed. But he bought some stuff from Tony before. But
I can't believe that dude passed away. Sorry, not to.
But his girlfriend reached out to me, and she's like, trying to figure out stuff to do with that. But then like his family, I guess, came in. They tried to scoop it all up, and I don't know if they want to keep it or sell it. But she wasn't sure what to do with it. Like, and that's a real thing. Like, it does happen. And some of us younger than others. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, when I'm 90, Melissa is going to be like right in her, in her 80s, and she's going to have all this shit to do. So that I don't even have kids for them to pass it down to. Like, what the fuck is she going to do with it? But some people do go earlier, and it is definitely something. I guess as a collector, it must cross our minds once in a while. You know what I mean?
So, I will tell you guys this. This is my plan. I'm going to watch the resale market very closely, but when I get to be between 50 and 60, I'm going to start making sense of what the values are. You know what I mean? And where things are. And as much as it would suck, I will probably turn around and do what I've always talked about, where I will have one room that is dedicated to some glass cases for some very particular items that are probably near and dear to my childhood that I don't care. Like, I just want to see them before I die. And I'll throw them out there. It's kind of silly, but it'll probably be something like a Power Master Optimus Prime. It'll probably be a Voltron. It'll probably be the four brothers from the Turtles. And those will be graded, high-end, beautiful toys that I can see in front of me the way I remember getting them as a kid. And those will stay with me. A Turbo Hopper, an RC Turbo Hopper. There's just things that I remember as a kid that I would love to see again. And when I get to that age where this is not reasonable anymore, this doesn't make sense anymore, this will all go. I'll sell it. It'll be gone. I'll keep a few particular things that when I die, I'll have these few pieces. And if they still hold value, good for my family. They'll probably be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. I will just want a few things to remember in my childhood, from my childhood, that made me happy. And the rest of this can go away. I don't care.
Yeah,
And I'll sell it all before it gets to that point. It's not worth pennies. That's my retirement. Besides my 401k, that will be my retirement.
I definitely had a similar idea. Like, if I know there's going to become a point where I'm just going to be like, shit. Apparently, my brother's here. I don't know if he was here while I was talking shit about him.
Is he ginger too?
No.
No.
Oh God, you got fucked.
He's my half. He's my half brother. He's no Irish in him. He's fucking Italian. He's part Italian. Fucking.
Oh, so he's a choreo.
So,
no,
so
Psycho,
like,
you got to get on board with this, man.
I've had a similar thought, and my thing was like, I know that eventually there's gonna be a come time where I'm probably gonna get rid of most of the stuff, and what I would just keep a few specific pieces like that just to have. But eventually, I will probably wind up getting rid of a lot of this stuff because at some point it becomes impractical, right?
Yeah,
sure.
So I might be 60 or 70 now. Whether or not I say screw it and just fucking throw it away, or do I sell it and at that point, will I give a shit? Who knows?
Top or bottom?
I mean, the gray here suggests I don't die. But we all know what this is from. So
Psycho, you know what?
That conversation.
I don't think we've met in person but one time, which was at that show.
Plasticon, yeah.
Next time I see you, I'm gonna give you one of those uncomfortable full body hugs.
I'm a hugger. I don't care. That's not gonna make me uncomfortable.
You say that till my hands wander south.
He'll start poking you.
That says way more about you than it does about me. So
I'm gonna go full cheeks, buddy.
So the thing I am curious about, and it kind of leads. Well, it kind of leads from the conversation of earlier with the value, like the turtles and all that. Is we see a lot of not essentially third party, but you have a lot of like independent toy companies. You have a lot of imports, but you have a lot of these companies that do original IPs, right? And the value of those in the future versus, say, Ninja Turtle items or G.I. Joe, Transformers. I think there's a conversation there because a lot of people put a lot of stake when you look at the resale at shows on like all these imports and all these like really obscure IPs that nobody gives a shit about. Like they have this value on them. And I think all that value is just because they had to pay extra to get them in because of import fees. Like there's no actual value there because people aren't going to give a fuck. Like, perfect example. This fucking thing. Cool as shit. This fucking mobster fucking shark. Cool as hell.
Like King Shark?
Kinda, but it's like a street shark. He's like a mobster. It's
the point you had good internet in 4K.
I mean, it looks great on my video, so I don't know.
Looks like shit over here.
Yeah, it's very blurry. I can't really see it. I don't think
you guys see my cat?
Fault, but yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad you guys told me that now, an hour and a half into this, when I could have fucking fixed stuff. Appreciate you. Thanks for helping. But
meow, meow.
But so like you take those things, right? And it's like people trying to sell them online, like, oh, it's $100. It's it's hard, like, but it's nothing that I think anybody's gonna have any nostalgia for that it's gonna retain any value in the future. Like it's a current price, cool thing, but there's not gonna be like a value for it in the future because there's no nostalgia for it. Whereas Turtles, Star Wars has that nostalgia that's gonna keep values up in the future in comparison to those.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. What you're saying makes sense.
Because Johnny feels the opposite. He thinks the independent toy scene is gonna like really hold value.
I don't think so. So like think about it like so to your point, right? So like Mondo, right? Just to throw one out there.
Right.
So the original Mondos, which like these guys, right? You guys know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah.
So those have a particular value. We all know what they are. It's about between 800 and 1200 for the set, depending on how you find them.
Yeah.
So, and if you get the ones with all the emblems, which I don't think I have any of those, like I don't know why. What was different about them? Didn't they have the Mondos like a commemorative sticker? It's like a gold sticker on the front.
Yeah, I don't know. You're the one who gets those things. That's out of my price range.
So, they do, and I forget why. It's like a limited release or something like that. But in any case, those are more money. these are cool. I've always wanted to own them. They're one of those grails for turtles to own the Mondo turtles. But I also have a feeling that in, again, 10 years, that's not a 10-back OG brother. I think
Right.
even though it was a limited run, they didn't make a lot of them. I think their value comes from the hype of turtles. I don't think it comes from quality or anything like that. I think it's just sheer hype. So, like to your point, that's a third-party company. And in 10 years, are those going to be back down to what they were, $100 a piece, 125 a piece, back to what they actually cost retail? Because I paid $800 for my set. I paid the premium, but
But it's
in
for
so
all
many
four
years, is
brothers,
that going to
right?
fall off? What now?
This you said you pay 800 for all four brothers.
Yeah, 825, I think.
So I think that those will retain value just because it's a IP that people will have nostalgia for and love.
I don't know that it's nostalgia or popularity. You talking about turtles themselves or the figures, Mondo figures?
Turtles themselves, the fact that it's a nostalgic IP
Okay, so
that will retain value because of the IP.
to my point, I think when we get to that point where things are dwindling down and the collectors are getting more picky, right? Let's just call it picky, where it's like I only want to own XYZ. I
Right.
think it's going to be I want the 4 Playmates original 10-back unpunched soft head turtles. That's what I want to own. For the people that are still buying, that's what I want to own. I don't give a shit about what is Mondo. I don't give a shit about that. What is Fury Toys? I don't give a shit about that. NECA? Oh God, I don't want any of that. I think it's going to be nostalgia to the core creators of that toy.
I disagree with that. I think that Mondo is
Okay?
not a company
Go
that's
ahead
going
and
to,
kick you.
right? Like, I don't think Mondo is a company that's going to go away. You know what I mean?
I don't think
So,
it's going
like,
away, Psycho. I just
no,
don't think the
but so-
value is going to be there.
no, but what I'm saying is the fact that it's not going away and they keep putting out good stuff, people will be like, oh, that's the first turtle Mondo made. Like, I definitely want that.
Oh, you're decimating Corey, huh?
I thought he was gonna talk about when he gave his thoughts on Vin Diesel back in the day.
How raw were you decimating him?
He talked about Vin Diesel back in the day.
Gross. Didn't Greasel.
Oh man.
Yeah, like I think just the turtles and like even those ones, I think just because they are turtles, that people will be like, oh, that's a cool version. Now they might not retain where you said like $800 for the set, but yeah, I think they'll still retain value just because of what it is and how it is.
Wow. Your brother's got a lot of shit going on.
We're posting it because fuck it. Wow. He said that shit when he was in elementary school to me one time.
He did.
The same statement?
Yep.
Did the exact same statement to me and my buddy Mark. And my buddy Mark, like, stopped, like, don't ever fucking say that. He started freaking out.
I kind of want to party with this guy now.
Oh man.
Corey is he's a special one. Let's just put it at that. He's
Corey.
But,
Oh man. So keep going.
like, yeah, I think you'll be okay with the turtles. It's all the other stuff, all the original IPs that I think are that people see. Like, a good example is Mythic Legions. Like, people love Mythic Legions and they buy them like crazy. I think in 20, 30 years, there's not going to be nostalgia for that because it's not an IP
I agree.
that people are really going to be like, oh, we remember that. It's just like a fad come and go.
That's a
type of thing.
now.
Right.
That's a now.
And in the future,
that
there will
hurts.
still be people, but it's going to be like a very small group of people who will be like nostalgia for it.
Like Tony was talking about Robotech. Right? Like that's what he was saying about Robotech. That's how it'll work. And I agree with that. I mean, you're not going to hear me disagree with that. I just
If you
think
told me Robotech, I'll be like, I'll give you $5 for it. Like, I don't give a fuck.
It's like when you said that you don't think people will want Mondo will still be around and people are going to want the first one. Like, hey, that's the first turtle that Mondo made, right? So that's where I think that's gonna hold value.
God damn it!
I guess I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about it differently, and I'm thinking about all these like third party like manufacturers that I bought turtles through because I'm a turtle head, right? That came out weird, but
You like Turtlehead.
I'm a turtle collector, and so I'm very much into anything that's out there that I can buy as turtles. And there's very few things that I won't buy. And so far, the only thing I haven't bought is the Fury toys. And there's another company who's making like a 1/6 scale Fury toys almost.
But you did buy Fury toys. Didn't you sell
I
it
sold
to
it.
Tim?
Or gave it to Tim or sold it to Tim. I don't know what happened. It went to Tim.
Or you were supposed to give it and you lost it? Something.
I lost it, then I found it, like love. But so but no, like I don't I buy everything turtles I come across, but for some reason, the Fury toys and whoever's making the 1/6 scale Fury toys now, that it doesn't appeal to me. Something about it just turns me off. And the Page Punchers, that's two now lines that I haven't followed because they just don't appeal to me. They like
I
turn me
mean,
off.
if it turns you off, just wait until you get a full body hug to John. You'll be back.
Right. I'll be right back to good. You know, you guys be fucking proud. I went to Target the other day and I picked up
How basic of you.
Granny Bebop and Baby Rocksteady.
You put it down. You put it down.
I literally held it and I was like, I don't need this shit. And I put it back on the shelf.
Oh, man.
And
Is that
part
why
of
it's
me
cold
died
in
inside.
Florida? Is hell freezing over? Is that what's going on?
Dude, part of me died a little bit inside. I was like, I'm not complete now. But I couldn't do it. I'm like, I'm not paying 74.49, whatever the fuck it comes out to.
Yep.
For this stupid ass 2-pack. Like, NECA. What are you fucking doing, dude? Fuck your whole line of toys.
And that's when I found it in the store. I called Chris to tell me I didn't need it because I was telling myself you don't need it. I'm like, Chris will tell me I don't need it.
And I told him, you don't fucking need that shit. Who the
Dude,
fuck needs that? Nobody.
I'm waiting for a $25 any toy thing. I'm waiting for $10 off, whatever, like coupon. I want coupon upon coupon upon coupon.
Right.
Oh, son, you don't even know. Shit.
Tony likes to brag a lot. No, just wait till next Christmas and get the Turtle Blind box. They'll be in there. Don't worry.
I don't want to brag, Corey, but I did say at a Holiday Inn Express recently.
What's funny?
This is Sprite Zero in a can.
See, Tony, the hilarity of you saying that, everything you just said is 100% something he would say. You and him have very similar, like, that bullshitty, like, comedic nonsense like that. And so
I don't have much going for me, so it makes it funny. But yeah, I agree and I don't agree to an extent about what you're saying. I think it's a great topic, man. I don't know. I look at some of the toys I bought and I stop and I tell myself, you bought that because it's cool. You bought that because you like it. That doesn't mean that's going to have value later. I'm going to tell you a case in point.
I don't buy shit for value.
Well, I own the 5-foot Metroplex, right?
You
The
also
Transformers
own a
one.
Paradrome.
Well, that's gone, thank Christ. But the Metroplex, it. All right, that's pretty funny. Sorry, they're all for me, brother. So, but I bought the Metroplex, and it's a really cool toy, and it's really fun, and it looks rad, and it can do a lot of things, but it is so big and bulky, there's no playability. It was more shock value cool. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It was just like, man, that's so crazy. It's so big. It's so awesome. I gotta have it. So I bought it.
And
now that it's here in my house, it's like, man, this is so fucking cool. When I first had it, 2 months later, I'm like, okay, it's cool, but what do you do with it?
I feel like that's 90% of the sales for HasLabs.
I say yes and no. I think HasLab is
right.
the closest you can get to buying a nicer quality, more detailed, more accessory-driven toy and not pay, what, 3.0 pricing or Blitzway?
For, say,
or am I wrong? Are they comparable pricing? Because I don't own anything by either.
That, I Blitzway and them 3.0, I don't own anything by them either. But
I mean, I have the Ghostbusters from Blitzway, which is the only thing I own from them, and I have the 1/6 scale Power Rangers, which is the only thing I own from 3-0.
So the Ecto you have, Psycho, isn't that thing like almost 3 feet long?
I don't have the Ecto one.
Oh, you have
I didn't
He
buy
has the
that. I
HasLab
bought the
Ecto
4 Ghostbusters when they first
Oh.
came out.
from Blitzway.
Yes.
Okay.
And I should have bought the Ecto one because the company that I bought the Ghostbusters from, they had the Ecto one for like $1,200, and I could have pre-ordered it. And if I had bought 2 of them, for instance, I could have sold one of them for way more and made my money back, and I just didn't do it, and I should have. Yeah. But if you want to talk about the figures, I can tell you that the quality on the Blitzway figures is incredibly high.
Is it Hot Toys or better? Or
I don't
Equation?
know that it surpasses Hot Toys.
Okay,
I
so
think
it's
that
Equation,
Hot
it's the
Toys
same.
is at another level. But I do think if I were to rank the 3, I would do Hot Toys, Blitzway, and then below that would be 3-0. But I think that that's an unfair ranking because a lot of people have said that 3-0 makes really good things. The Power Rangers figures just have some elements about them that I don't like, that I think actually makes it harder to pose them, makes them a little more I don't want to say static, but like I think static would be an appropriate word. Like, so for instance, they don't have gloves and shoes in the traditional sense, right? Like Hot Toys, the characters have actual boots, right? Or shoes. They have gloves. Well, with 3-0, you have the hands, which are just molded plastic, but then you have these hard plastic pieces to make the gloves. So it really makes posing things difficult. And the same thing with the feet because of it, when they could have just made like an actual leather or pleather or like soft plastic kind of boot. It just, I don't know. They did things that don't make sense. And the Blitzway Ghostbusters, I've never actually removed them, but I have opened the boxes just to kind of look at them. And I thought the likeness on them was great. And the fabric and everything looks like it's very well made. And the proton packs look very lifelike. But if Hot Toys were to announce they were going to do Ghostbusters, I would absolutely sell the Blitzway ones in a second. I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like, oh, Hot Toys doing it? Cool. Ghostbusters going.
Well,
so who did, I'm sorry, Chris, who did the Ghostbusters and then did them Ghostbusters 2 also?
That was Mattel. Yeah, and those figures were trash.
The ones that were like this big?
Yeah,
The
Mattel
12-inch
did
ones were
the
Mattel, yeah.
12-inch ones, yeah.
Oh wow, that's terrible.
But they were like Barbie quality. They look like Barbies.
So like big plastic boobs. Yeah, I got you. All right.
Yeah, fat ass. Yeah.
Nice.
But no, like I said, I think that majority of the HasLab purchases are people that are just like, oh, that's something that looks cool, but when in reality, there's no practical use for it and need for it, right?
So
Like some of the things are just so goddamn big. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do with that?
I mean, the proton pack, the 2 in the box, I think that those.
But that's different. Those are props, right? People use those for cosplay. Like,
But they were HasLabs. You said HasLabs.
okay, John, you could do that. That's fine. You could try and get that technical. Absolutely.
oh
go
shit,
for it.
here we go.
But what we're talking about is he's talking about a transformer that's like the Metroplex. That's kind of like useless, right? It was cool to buy.
Right,
But-
that wasn't HasLab, third party, but yes, that's
right.
exactly
But I'm
what
saying, but
referring
like that's
to.
what I'm saying. The HasLab stuff like that, the big figures they release, like just kind of like a fucking what was it? A 3-foot Sentinel? Like, okay, cool. But what the fuck you really gonna do with a 3-foot Sentinel? Put it in fucking holiday garb for fucking Christmas decoration? What the fuck you really gonna do with that?
What if you only collected X-Men stuff though?
Okay, again, 90%. I didn't say every fucking buddy.
No, and I'm not
So there's
saying
gonna be that person that does it.
I didn't say that you did. What I'm saying is like I don't know that I mean, I feel like you could make that argument with everything that we own, right? Like
Absolutely,
what is the point of this? It just kind of takes up space. But I think for certain people, the argument because again, I bought 2 of the Ecto ones. They're big and they're going to take up space. But I have a specific thing in mind that I want to do with them. Where like I think you got one. I think that's what you said. Like, and you're going to do something with it, but you probably think that having two of them is unnecessary. Like, it's just taking up space. So,
no, it's just expensive.
I think you guys are confusing HasLab with what I bought with was mentioning with the Metroplex. So HasLab I get. Jabba Skiff, the HasLab. Look, I have a Sky Striker and a Rattler. They're both still in their shipper sealed. I haven't touched them, but that's in my opinion, that's different. I'm talking about I bought a 5 feet because with his guns he is a 5-foot transformer that will never do anything but just sit as a big ass transformer next to my couch because he's too big to do anything else with. It's just not, there's no playability, transformability. Nobody has the space to do what they need to do with somebody that fucking big. They just don't. A regular person who purchased him. And they made a Fans Toys is releasing a Fort Maximus, right? Fortress Maximus. I bought Cerebrus. The box for Cerebrus is this big. I tried to get the body. I missed the pre-order. Now I'm fucked because I didn't get the pre-order for Fans Toys Fort Max. And then they're supposed to do a Trypticon. Well, if they do a Trypticon to scale, what?
In your world, right? And what you're talking about. I don't give a fuck. In your world, right? And you're talking about, oh, this 5-foot transformer, he doesn't do anything, he just stands there, he's useless, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say you have Jabba Skiff?
No, I don't have it. I'm just explaining Jabba Skiff is one of those pieces.
But for somebody like you, you buy Jabba Skiff.
Keep it in the box.
And it just sits there and does nothing.
Correct.
Okay, just making sure because you're saying that's what he does. That's what everything
We're
like
talking
that
about
gremlin.
Me. Don't base things on me.
So that gremlin behind you is doing nothing.
Right. Don't base things on me. I'm stupid. I buy shit and I'm irresponsible. I'm talking about the stereotypical person who buys it and wants to open it or what have you, right? The reality of what they're purchasing.
Gotcha.
I buy it. I know it's going to go in a box. I'm a box art guy. That's my thing. I don't give a shit about the toy to an extent. I care about box art. So when this thing came in, it was in brown shipper boxes. I had to open it. What am I going to do with it? So I open it, I put it on the floor, and I'm like, oh, it's really cool, but I can't do anything with it. The playability is not there. It's just too big. If they do this Trypticon, and they've teased about Trypticon, God help us. 5 foot tall. Think about, does anybody know what Trypticon is besides Psycho?
Nope.
It's a big goddamn metallic T-Rex. Call it what it is. He's going to be 5 feet tall. He's going to have to be every bit of 4 feet long to make sense proportionally from head to tail. Who the hell, besides me, has room to put this bitch who's going to be 4 feet long and it be a transformer that you'll never be able to transform unless you have a room dedicated where you put him in city mode, and that's all that motherfucker's ever going to be is a city mode with all your other transformers on top of them because of the sheer size.
Couldn't tell you.
Did I go too far?
Sounds like a big motherfucker, though. Like I said, I just feel like your idea about the Metroplex, right, and how it is, I feel like majority of the people who buy HasLabs, it's the same thing. They buy it just because it's cool at the moment.
You're
but in
probably
reality,
right.
They're just like, oh, shit. Once they get it, they're like, oh.
But those are people that had no sense, had no
sense, exactly.
Well, sense, yeah, but had no oh my god. Not had no sense. Had no they had no sense, but they had no freaking business. They had no business buying that to begin with. It's like, this is $500. One, do you have $500 to waste on this? Two, do you need this for $500? Three, could this $500 pay your light bill? I'm sorry. I think there's so many people that buy shit that have no business buying it. When I buy stuff, I know I'm wasting money. I know where my disposable income's going. I think there's way too many people to buy shit just to buy shit. The Rattler.
That's a whole different topic.
I know. The Rattler and the Sky Striker themselves, you can go, and most HasLabs, truthfully, you can go on eBay right now and buy them for well less than what you would think you could buy them for. You can buy a Sky Striker sealed in the shipper for less than $300. And that says a lot. That's people getting their money back, right?
Yeah, because I think a lot of those people. Which one's the Sky Striker? What is it? What's that from?
Like one of the first HasLabs that came out for G.I. Joe.
Wasn't
Okay.
it the Jet?
I'm sorry?
Isn't the Sky Striker the Jet?
Yeah.
Because I think some people, and I always say I think because I've seen people actually mention it, right? Would be they buy a lot of those HasLabs also, and they sell the vehicle for cheaper because they wanted the specific
The
figure.
figures are worth more than the vehicle.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah,
our little homie in the group chat? Is it Mike that has all the HasLabs?
No, Sean? I think it's a Sean. Because he did
Is
the
it
show with us.
Sean Pires,
Yeah, he did the show over in Pinellas, I think.
like
The very
Sarasota,
first-
Bradenton, one of those.
Yeah.
So he has a fuck ton of HasLabs. I feel for him so bad because he has bought so many, and the value does not necessarily hold for all of the HasLabs. The Sentinels it does because people want Sentinels for their X-Men.
Yep.
The Ghostbuster shit usually does, but the G.I. Joe shit does not. The Star Wars specific pieces, right? Jabba's barge. I'm not even a Star Wars guy. I'd love to own it. Cannot touch it for less than $2,500. I need out there in the universe. I fucking need Unicron. I don't have Unicron. I need Unicron. I will buy Unicron. I'm not spending $2,500. I give you $1,000 for him, but I need Unicron.
You should ask Zach if he's got one.
Why don't you have it?
Haven't come across it for the right price yet.
No, like why
I
did
figured
buy
you
it when
would
it came
have. I
out?
figured you would have bought that.
You think I would have bought it for the wrong price, but I'll tell you, I'm so weird about how I spend money.
Like when the HasLab was out, I figured you absolutely would have backed
Oh,
that.
I
That's what
didn't
I'm saying.
know. So at the time, I didn't know HasLab and Hasbro was a thing.
Okay.
I didn't know. That's why I never got it.
Back in the beginning, HasLab, like they were really like under the radar when it came. Like if you were deep into that world of that franchise and collecting, you knew about it. But if you were just kind of skimming on the outside periodically, like it wasn't really well known for a while. The first couple. Now everybody just like looks forward to see what the next HasLab's going to be, and how much you're going to hate life for having to try and buy it.
Yeah, I would
Did it-
gladly, if I could find Jabba's barge for a decent price, I'd buy it, and then Unicron, I'd buy it.
What's a decent price?
Do you got one?
Psycho, do you
No,
have one?
I'm just curious.
Jabba's barge, I'd probably give somebody a G. And Unicron, I'd probably go as high as 15.
Interesting.
Listen, the only reason I say that is because Chris was at 2 years ago. Hasbro
Oh.
Pulse for about 60 seconds posted Unicron,
Oh yeah.
and people were able to get him for $500.
Well, that's crazy.
I would have bought them all. I would have bought fucking 10 of them.
And there we go against. Here he is.
But I would have sold them for $1,000 a piece, and people would have. I wouldn't go for the 25, $3,000 everybody's asking. I'd be like $1,000, double my money. They're gone. They would move in a second.
Yeah, it's kind of like who did it? Amazon. Right before I moved, or maybe like 6 months before I moved from South Florida, they found a couple cases of the legacy communicators from Power Rangers, both the 5 Ranger version, so all the like original Ranger colors, and then the Gold Team version, which was the green and the white. And they put them up for the original retail price of $50. They were gone in minutes,
Yeah.
right? And then all of a sudden on eBay, you see all these listings go up for $400, $500. It was crazy.
I got them.
I don't know what they're worth now. I don't think that they're still worth that amount, but it was nuts that people did that. And the same thing happened earlier this year when Amazon found or NECA found some of the accessory pack for the first Turtle movie figures, and they put those up on Amazon, and they were gone in 2 minutes. and then all of a sudden people paid $50 for it, and now we're turning around and selling it for $250.
Yeah, because people are stupid and pay for it.
Truffy is drinking the ice water that is left over.
Oh, that's good. Good on her. I'm happy for her.
My cats are spoiled now because I've been taking bottled water from the fridge and filling their bowl with it.
So,
Alrighty
Corey,
then.
what do you think about that? That he's giving cats bottled water?
Listen, these are my girls, man.
I
My
do
cats
find one
mayonnaise.
thing interesting when it comes to the whole HasLab thing. When we look at not Transformers, we look at Ghostbusters. Ghostbuster props seem like they do 100 times better than a non-prop item.
I agree.
And because of that, I have a feeling that they're going to stick to mainly props and they're not going to do much more when it comes to
But
toys.
what other props would they have besides like maybe the goggles?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what else could they make?
So you got the
Janine
goggles, you got the Geiger you got a bunch of their utilities on their belts. You do different versions of the trap. Like there's ways they could go. And you look at the repertoire, they can start getting into the video game with stuff. Like they could go further, but the that community is very gun ho on trying to get as many of the props as they can get. And if those things like the pack funded in one day,
Yeah,
right? The fucking what was the other the two
the
in
two
a
in the
box?
box.
That was like within like 2 or 3 days it was fully funded, right? Everything gone.
So then let's ask.
Whereas the Ecto 1 took to like the last 3 days of the campaign to fund. Like,
So let's ask this, Chris. Since you're not crazy with the stuff, what prop would they announce that you would be excited about and say, I got to get that?
the only other thing that I would really want to get if they did it would be the goggles, right? But if they got the goggles, I want them to be and do like a Polaroid camera, like actually work and you can take a picture with it. Besides that, I don't think there's many much more prop wise that I would personally get because
Ray's cigarette.
space-
We're hanging down.
like it mainly because of space and the fact that the iconic props would be what I wanted.
So, I've read a lot recently of people online who desperately want them to make a slime blower for some reason.
And
I
they've
I don't know if I would get that, but would you get that?
That'd be cool.
no, absolutely not. So I would consider it, but Hasbro has talked about it. They've answered the questions about it. They've priced it out. And they said that they will not be making it because of the size, the heft, and the price to make it. It would have to be thousands of dollars, and they are not going to do that.
Yeah.
And mainly because of the fucking tanks, right? How big those tanks are. And Hasbro, yeah, they've said in many interviews that they've looked, they've heard, they're not doing it. It's not going to happen.
So, I don't know that they would really make anything else. I don't think they'd make the goggles. I think too much could go wrong with the goggles because the goggles are what people got pissed off about when Mattel was doing the props. The goggles just were very lackluster.
So, like I said, what they could do if they really did the goggles, right? Because you figured the PKE meter, they actually made the PKE meter a working EMF detector,
Yes.
right? So, like, you can, in theory, you can literally take the PKE meter and hunt ghosts with it. I mean, in theory, if
No,
you
no,
believe
I
in
know.
ghosts,
It's just funny. Imagine turning a ghost show on in a couple of years and they're using a PKE meter.
but you can, right? Because it's an EMF detector. Like you can do it. So I don't see why Hasbro couldn't make the goggles and make them a working Polaroid camera, like you see in was it Frozen Empire, where they can actually take a picture with the goggles.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why they can't actually do that. And I think if they do it, that would be the higher selling point. That it's actually working prop, not just a look at me prop. It actually does what it's supposed to do. But when it comes down to the other props, like I said, the Ghostbuster world of fandoms who want those props, they're complete lunatics and they want every goddamn thing possible.
Yeah.
And there's enough of them, obviously, to buy it because they have funded all of the fucking things in a heartbeat. Because you got to figure a lot of those people, right, that buy them, they're part of like the Lakeland Ghostbusters, where there's like 20, 30 plus Ghostbusters that are part of this group. They all buy. Like, there's huge groups of cosplay that they just want all that stuff. And
Okay.
it's a very big thing. But that would be it. I can't think of anything else they can even do HasLab wise, even toy wise, besides like the missing figures that I'd want. Like, I don't want anything else, even toy wise, from them. Maybe a containment unit, but that doesn't have to be a HasLab. Like, it's always cool when both of you guys are like reading your phones. That's always fun.
So, are those the only HasLabs you ever bought? Were Ghostbusters?
For me, yeah, because I don't give a shit about Transformers and G.I. Joe or Star Wars.
That makes sense.
Definitely don't give a shit about Tron. Like,
Yeah. No, I was
apparently nobody did. So
trying to find if there was any more news on some kind of Ghostbusters prop.
no, there hasn't been anything else coming out yet. I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they don't do any more Ghostbuster HasLabs.
Okay.
Because I think the goggles, if you did the goggles, I don't think you necessarily have to do a HasLab with that. You probably do a pre-order system because I don't think for the price mark of a HasLab, I don't think the goggles by themselves will hit that price mark.
You don't
could
think
probably
so?
get away. No, I don't think so.
How much is a Polaroid camera now? I mean, I haven't looked for one. I don't even know if you can still buy one, but
Oh, I don't
Like-
fucking know.
Oh, $76.
That sounds like a really quick price there, Tony. Have you been looking
I
at
just made up a
Polaroid
game.
cameras?
I got nothing. I just made something up. It's fine.
Okay, like
what can-
because you remember, like, it doesn't even necessarily be a Polaroid camera, right? Because remember, we were probably in middle school, high school. They had like those. They weren't Polaroid cameras, but they came out with those new cameras that are like Polaroids that were like kind of long, and you could take a picture and you fucking pull out the film.
Or you take the picture and you go zip, 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 zip. Next picture.
Not a Polaroid, but yes, kind of like that, Tony. But absolutely not.
35
like that.
millimeter
Take
camera.
pictures, so same thing, but completely different. But yeah, no, like, it was like a Polaroid style, but you like pulled it out and it came out like on a sticker, and they like I had one in fucking high school. Like it was a big thing back then. Like they could do that. Like the technology's there. It doesn't have to be a Polaroid. You don't have to put out fucking huge Polaroids. You know what I mean? Like they can get away with whatever. I just don't think it meet the price mark for a HasLab. That's all. But I can't.
So
Tony, what HasLabs have you bought besides
Well,
the
I bought-
Ghostbuster one to flip?
Transformers.
Grannies? Yeah, you like
But I bought those to resell. Again, everything I bought HasLabs has been to resell, with the exception of the Rattler. The only ones I bought like for campaign, right? I bought it to keep, and then I bought the Sky Striker
so weird.
on eBay because I got such a good deal. Now looking back, it's like, well, I bought a Sky Striker, I bought a Rattler, but why? They're awesome. They're really great toys, but where am I going to put them? I'm not going to open them.
Again, that's what I told you.
I bought it for box
nostalgia.
nostalgia.
From that
Well,
exact thing.
I guess to the point, like, I really should be more cognizant of saying, okay, you're going to spend $300 on this HasLab Sky Striker. Why didn't you just buy an OG? I could have bought an OG for like $250 in the box.
But
I should have done that.
So I guess my curiosity, right? And if you want to end it soon, whatever, that's fine. But my curiosity of that is that's not even really a line that you collect,
Correct.
right? So like I understand if Hasbro gets turtles, they drop some big ass turtle HasLab. Obviously, Tony's gonna buy that shit. It's his wheelhouse. Yeah, 3 of them. You know, whatever. But you're gonna buy it. I always find it weird when you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this." It's like a GI Joe item. I'm like, you don't really collect GI
So
Joe.
as
Why
a
are you spending
kid-
that money on something you don't collect at all?
As a kid, I had a fuck ton of GI Joes, so I have fond memories
It's
of
nostalgia.
buying. Well, I have fond memories of buying 2 things. So I'm from up north, obviously, you guys know. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
from
brag about it a
Wallingford,
lot.
huh?
I said, yeah, you brag about that a lot.
I'm from Connecticut, right? I'm from Wallingford, Connecticut, which is about the size of this podcast. It's small. So We used to have something called duck pin bowling. I guarantee you nobody knows what the hell that's called. It was
Is
this
it-
tiny, tiny bowling ball that fit in the palm of your hand as a
Yeah,
kid.
is that not how all bowling is up north?
It was a ball that fit in your hand as a kid, almost like a wiffle ball,
The fuck
but it
is-
was a bowling ball.
right. And the pins are like tubes. Like,
Did you have duck pin bowling wherever you grew up?
no, my mom told me about it. Like that's how bowling was up north when she was a kid. Like that's how all bowling was. And when they
So-
moved south, they had this different type of bowling.
Yeah,
The big ass balls and pins.
Well, they had regular bowling up north too. That's what I don't understand. But duck pin
Oh,
was what we
cool.
grew up with as kids. So we played duck pin bowling. So when we were done, my dad used to take us to the toy store, and we would always buy a Mask toy or a GI Joe toy. And I always got a bad guy, and my brother always got a good guy. Always, we'd always go and buy whoever was newest at the store.
That's why you don't like your brother now. Okay.
That's got nothing to do with it, but there you go. Team Tim. No wonder you're like this. So
See?
so anyway, we buy the toys. So I never owned as a kid a Sky Striker. I never owned a Rattler because I was born in 81. The Rattler came out in like 85. They're not
Right.
going to buy a 4-year-old a Rattler. So I wasn't old enough to own that toy yet.
Yeah.
When I got to be 5 or 6, they didn't make the Rattler anymore, right? So those are toys I never got to own, and they were cool. There we go. That sounds like a gay thing. We're not on that kind of cast. But in any case, so when the Sky Striker and the Rattler came out, I wanted to have them. I wanted to own them as a kid. I want that box nostalgia. That's really what I bought them for. Looking back, I didn't know this. I should have as a toy seller and collector. I should have known, dude, you could have bought original box art and not paid the price of HasLab. But I didn't. So that's why I
but you
bought
got,
them. That's the
you
only reason I
got
own
caught
them.
up in the moment. It
But-
was something cool, and you went for it.
It is. And as a collector now, the only thing I would love to own is I want to own every Tiger Force toy, every Python Patrol, every Night Force, and every one of the silvers. I forget what they were called. They're all like silver. All the vehicles are silver. I forget what they're called. But I like the nostalgia of those weird transitions that G.I. Joe made. They were cool lines. They did a great job. They took those OG toys that you loved and they just repainted them, but they were cool. They were cool and they were fun to play with. 81. Fuck you. Listen, at least I know my dad. So in any case, I'm just saying. But
Tony,
anyway, yeah, so that was my
when
whole
you-
thing with
When you read
HasLab.
anything from Tim, does your mind automatically play like a smoke detector in the background? Is that-
Whenever I see anything by Tim, all I can think of is like trying to find a better way. Well, I immediately think of Friday.
Oh shit!
Psycho is so upset with everything I do. So let's go ahead and call it. It is Tuesday. Listen, I got a flight tomorrow morning. I miss you guys. I
You
will
bitch.
see you guys. Hopefully, see you guys when I get back. But Thursday, if you guys want to do something, you're gonna have one without me, regardless. But if it's gonna be something cool, something I can contribute to, I got nothing going on. I'd rather sit in my hotel room with my cell phone and talk to you guys and be on the cast.
Okay.
So hit me up, let me know. But if not, thank you guys, everybody, for coming out tonight. Psycho, Wheezy, it's been a great night. We probably could go another hour, honestly, with everything we're talking about. But
Probably.
We don't even
Yeah,
have a
let's-
topic for Thursday yet, so Psycho and I will figure that out tomorrow, probably.
well, figure it out and let us know, man. I'd love to Tim, let us know when the 1st and the 15th became relevant.
Christ.
So anyway, guys, have a great night.
What if there's been a song about that?
Wow. Anyway, guys, have a great night. Psycho, Wheezy, again for the 5th time. Hit me up Thursday if you guys want to talk about something that I'm relevant to. But until then, no caps.